Hi there, I'm Catherine, and thank you so much for joining me in our first yoga workout together, yoga for people who work too much. This 20-minute program is designed to make you feel better throughout the rest of your day. We're going to particularly focus on opening up the lower back, the chest and shoulder region, and getting some flexibility, particularly into the hip flexors and the hips in general. Obviously, you don't need a lot of space to do this. I'm just here in my little bedroom. But I haven't quite gotten the dynamics of the video worked out, so I'm sorry if you can't see everything. I'll try to do my very, very best, okay? So we're going to go ahead and start in child's pose. If you haven't done it before, just come into a nice kneeling position. Bring your hips onto your heels and rest your forehead down onto the floor. And then depending on what's comfortable in your shoulders, you can either stretch your arms out long in front of you, or if that's too much, bring the arms back by your sides. Nice. And then you just stay here. I'm going to come out of it for a moment so that you can hear me. And we're using child's pose today just to begin to start to focus onto the breath. So I don't need you to do anything too dramatic right now. I just want you to notice where you feel your breath most predominantly today. Maybe it's in the belly, the way that it's pressing there into the thighs. Maybe it's in your lower back, or maybe you feel something in the chest or the neck or the throat, something like that. The point is that wherever you feel your breath the most right now, I just want you to think of expanding that area on your inhale and letting that area just soften as you exhale. Inhale, I feel my body rise. Exhale, I allow my body to soften. And it's really important to begin any yoga practice with just a few moments of breathing, no matter how stressed out you are, no matter how limited you are in your time. As we breathe here in this very simple child's pose, it's going to help us remember to breathe as the postures become a little bit more complex, a little bit more challenging. In any yoga pose, you want to feel that there's sort of this cycle between your breath, your body, right, what your body is doing, and what your mental state is. And you want to feel that each of these three things is working together and supporting the other part. So maybe if you get into a pose that's a little physically challenging, you can really lean into your mental capability. You can tell yourself, yes, I can. Maybe if you're in a place where the mind is starting to wander, you really plug into the physical sensations. Notice those thighs lighting up. Notice the hips beginning to open. And no matter what, we'll sort of use our breath to mediate these ideas. So there in that child's pose, one more time, long breath in. And just sigh it out. Should feel good. From here, stretch the arms out in front of you if they're not there already, and then bring yourself up to all fours or a hands and knees position. Make sure the hands are stacked directly underneath the shoulders and separate your knees slightly so that they're stacked underneath your hips. Spread the fingertips open wide and actively think of distributing the weight through the entirety of your hand. Now notice here, I'm pulling my tummy in nice and tight. The back of my neck is in line with the rest of my spine. I'm not collapsing my chest down to the floor, right? I'm actively pushing the floorboards away from me, so I feel pretty strong already. Let's start to wake up our spine with a few cat-cow tilts. So as you inhale, lift your chin and your tailbone. Big arch of the spine. And then as you exhale, tuck your chin and your tailbone. Scoop your belly in, round that back. Find the breath. Inhale to look up, lift your tail. Exhale to look down. And one more time. Inhale, look high. And exhale, look low. Very nice. Coming back into a neutral spine, we'll continue sort of this rippling sensation through our back. So now as you exhale, let your hips drop towards the floor. Begin to lift your chest up towards the ceiling. Notice my shoulders are still pressed down away from my ears. As I exhale, tuck the chin, suck in the belly, round through the spine, all the way back into your child's pose, hips on the heels. As you inhale, come through rounded back, belly in. As you exhale, hips down, chest lifts. And then one more time, exhale, round the spine, pull in your navel, push, push, push those hips towards your heels. As you inhale, return to neutral spine, hands under shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Let's start to wake up the stabilizers now of our spine. So that's going to be both back muscles and the tummy muscles. On your next inhale, reach the right arm out long in front of you. And as you exhale, extend the left leg long behind you. Good. Careful that you're not dropping and sinking into the left shoulder. Push the floorboards away from you. Reach long through the right hand, long through the left toes. And then notice if in this challenging moment you've stopped breathing. Every inhale, reach a little longer. Every exhale, pull your tummy in tighter. Inhale again, reach long. Now exhale, squeeze your right elbow to your left knee. Suck in the tummy. And inhale, lengthen. 2 more. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lengthen, and now start to lift a little higher. The hand and the leg just as high as you can go. It's not a competition with me or anyone else. One more chance, lift high, and relax. Good. Take that same right hand now, lift it up to the ceiling so your chest faces the side wall. And then with an exhale, thread your right arm through your left arm. So right ear and shoulder come to the floor. Notice my hips are still lifted nice and high, and I'm really laying down on my ear and shoulder. If you want to deepen the stretch, reach the left arm behind your back. Maybe look towards the left shoulder. Find a slow breath in, slow breath out. Return left hand down. Reach right hand to the ceiling so we counter twist. And release it down. Let's try the other side. Okay. Inhale. Left arm forward. Right leg back. And just holding here. Good. And all of us will reach a point at which we'd rather not be in the pose. At that place, just use your breath to remind you that it's okay to stay, right? In yoga, as in life, we feel uncomfortable sometimes, but that doesn't mean that we necessarily need to move or shift. One more time, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, squeeze, knee to elbow, elbow to knee. Inhale up. Exhale, powerful breath. Inhale long. Okay, last one, squeeze. Inhale long. Now come on, give me some height. Even look up towards the ceiling. Where your eyes go, so does the body. Keep the breath going, nothing held, nothing strained. And relax, good job. Inhale, lift the left arm to the sky, open your chest. Exhale, thread left arm through. Left ear, left shoulder come to the floor. Maybe you'll wrap the right arm behind your back. Take another deep breath for me. And return the right palm. Lift the left hand high. And relax to all fours. We'll transition now into downward facing dog. So curl your toes underneath you so you can lift your hips up high, push your heels towards the floor. Now you'll see here in downward facing dog, I hope you can see, that I sort of look like an upside down V position, right? My hips are nice and lifted, my back is nice and straight, and my palms are planted into the floor. Now if your hamstrings are a little tight, if your low back is a little tight, and you kind of look like this instead, what I want you to do is bend those knees, straighten your spine, and then over time you'll begin to straighten out the knees again. In down dog, it's more important that you have a straight back than that you have perfectly straight knees, okay? So from this downward facing dog, take a few moments just to work into it. So you can bend your knees a few times, kind of walking out your hips, stretching out your calves and Achilles tendons. And then cleaning it up, fingers are spread wide. Thumbs and index fingers pressing firmly into the floor. Shoulders rotated away from the ears. Now let's bend our knees, look forward, and gently step to the front of your mat between your hands. You can take as many steps as you need to for this. Good. At the front of your mat now, just let your body hang and relax. You can bend the knees slightly if that's necessary. Kind of rest the chest and the belly on the thighs. You can swing a little side to side. Good. And then just make sure the weight is a little bit on your toes. Heels should be on the floor, but weight slightly forward. Good. On your inhale, let's take a half lift. Fingers come to the shins for support. Shine your heart forward. Nice flat back like a table. And exhale, relax. Good. Inhale, reach arms overhead. Come up tall to standing mountain pose. Feel your tailbone dropping, your navel pulling in. Those arms reaching up so tall. Inhale, look towards the ceiling. Maybe begin to look across the ceiling, just lifting that chest to a slight back bend. And exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale again, halfway lift. And exhale, release. Bend your knees, interlace your fingers behind your back, and then give yourself a nice opening through the chest and the shoulders. If you can't interlace your fingers, grab a towel in your hands to get the same effect. Hands can swing a little right, a little left. And then relax those hands down. Good. Again, inhale tall up to standing. This time, place the hands to your low back. I'm going to face you. Fingers are facing down. Start to think of squeezing your elbows towards one another, like they might one day touch. Now, using your hands, lift tall up first, and then begin to take a backward bend. Keep the hands pushing your hips forward. And notice I can still breathe here, right? I'm not choking off my throat. Think hard up, hips forward. Look a little more back. Hi. And come on up. Good job. Relax those arms down. Keep your feet at hips width distance. And then inhale, arms over your head. Reach for your left wrist with thumb and index finger of right hand. As you inhale, stand up nice and tall. And then exhale, bend your body over to your right. Good. I'm using my right hand to kind of pull gently on my left arm. Notice I'm not collapsing down, right? There's no belly out. My belly's in. I'm pushing my hips to the left and stretching my arms to the right. And up to center. Whew, feels good. Grab the other arm. So left hand holds right wrist. Inhale, reach up tall. And exhale, bend to your left side. Good. And this is another one that can feel intense for a lot of people. While it's intense in the moment, I promise you the benefits are worth it. Try not to collapse. Lift that chest up. Push your hips to the right, stretch. And back to center. Good for you. Bring your feet together now, and we're going to do what's called eagle arms. So wiggle your right fingers, okay? You're going to swing your right elbow under your left, and then try to cross at your wrists to bring your palms to touch. Now, if your palms don't touch, hold on to your thumb. If your thumbs don't touch, back of the hands is fine. And if it's hard even to do this, nice big hug for me, okay? So do the best that you can. Sometimes a little momentum helps to wrap those arms nice and tight. And already you'll feel that opening across your shoulder blades, across the front of the shoulders. Good. pull your hands down as much as you possibly can, and then sit nice and low for me. Notice here, the weight is going to be down and back into my heels. Good. Lift your chest up nice and tall. Keep the weight on 2 feet. And then stand up. Keep your arms where they are, backward bending. Think of using your thumbs to lift your nose. Heart up, elbows up. And come on upright. Good. Lift your arms over your head. Wiggle your left hand. Now, left elbow under the right. Cross your elbows first. This has to happen first. Then cross wrists. Maybe palms touch. Maybe a thumb. Maybe palms. Maybe big hug. Who knows? Okay, here we go. Feet together. Sit down really low. Weight on your heels. Belly in, chest up. This is so good for strengthening your hips and your thighs and your back. Pull at first your elbows down. Open up your shoulders. Now stand up, backward bend. Elbows off your chest. And come upright. Good job. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Separate your feet to hips with distance, please. Right hand on the floor in front of your 2 feet. Left hand towards the ceiling. Bend your right knee. It's a spinal twist. Look up at your left hand if you can. Lengthen your spine to roll your chest open. And switch. Left hand on the floor. Right hand to the sky. Bend just your left knee. And open up the chest. Don't let your chest collapse and crunch. Lengthen your spine really tall. Look up at right hand. And release. Very nice work. Inhale. Let me see half lift. And then place 2 hands on the floor. Step just your left foot back. Just your left foot. Way, way back. Good. My feet are hips with distance. And now I drop my left knee onto the floor. Okay? Hopefully you can see this. So left knee down on the floor. Just take a moment. Make sure you're really pushing your hips down to the mat. You'll feel a stretch probably in your right hamstring, but also in the left front of your hip here, okay? Breathe deeply into the feelings of your left hip. Good. Now you can stay right where you are, right? If this feels like a lot, then it is. Stay where you are. But if you're ready for something more, reach your hands up to the top of the right thigh. Now notice with hands on my thigh, I've got a big old arch in my low back. I don't want that. So think of tucking your tailbone down and lifting your chest up. So my hands push down, my hands push forward. Holy moly, I feel that in my left psoas, hip flexor area. Good. If you're really feeling fancy, you can lift your hands up. You can maybe even back bend. And then release. 2 hands to the floor. Curl your back toes under and straighten your back knee. Keep the left hand down. Inhale, reach your right hand to the sky. If this feels like too much, keep your left knee on the floor. That's fine. Good. Try not to sink in your left shoulder. Feel your right ribs lifting up to the ceiling. And then relax. 2 hands on the floor. Step your right foot forward to meet your left. Good. Feet, hips width distance. Take your hands. Grab the back of your calves. Wrap your elbows behind your calves. And then with knees bent or straight, whatever you can do, begin to pull the top of your head to the floor. Notice where your body is resisting. Send your breath right there. and release. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down. Step your right foot way, way back. Good. Drop your right knee onto the mat. If this hurts your knee, you can double your mat over or put a little cushion there, okay? And then just let those hips start to drop down and forward. And everybody has one side that's more open and one side that's more tight, so you're not alone in that. Okay, if you need a little more, hands up to your thigh, and now chest up, chest back, booty under. Yeah. And you might lose your balance for a moment, that's okay. Just find it again. Do you want a back bend? Arms overhead. Keep your tailbone tucked. And relax. Two hands on the floor. Curl the right toes under. Squeeze the right knee straight. And then left hand up to the sky. Now, if hand on the floor feels really hard, you can get a book or a block or something to put your hand on, and then that'll make things a little easier. Keep that left hip dropping down. Look up towards left hand. And then let it go. Step right foot forward, it meets the left foot. Good. And then exhale, relax over your legs. On your next breath, gently roll yourself up to standing, one slow vertebra at a time. Head is very heavy, so let it come up last. Good. We're going to try to find one balancing posture that also opens up your hips. So standing on your left foot first, let's take the right foot up into the left inner thigh. This is called tree pose. There we are. So the way that I'm going to do this is I just lift that right foot up as high as I can. Now, if high for you is somewhere by the groin, great. But if it's on your calf, that's excellent too. Okay, wherever it lands for you today. Once the foot is there, drop your tail, pull in your belly, hands to your heart. Keep thinking this right knee pushing open, not coming forward. There. Why don't you grow some tree branches, arms overhead. And then if you're really feeling adventurous, shift your gaze so you're looking towards the ceiling. Eyes forward, hands to the heart, and then let your right foot come to the floor. Good job. You can shake it out a little if you need to. Let's see how the other side goes. So left foot, let's put it up at the right inner thigh. As high as it goes, and one side is always different than the other. And hands to the heart. If it's hard for you to keep your foot up here, I want you to think of pushing your foot into your thigh and pushing your thigh back into your foot. There you are. Hands to the heart, and eventually we'll grow some tree branches. Oh, I wasn't pushing hard enough. Maybe shift the eyes. And then eyes forward, hands to the heart, and left knee comes to the floor. Really nice work. Go ahead and find your way into a good seated position. If you can do cross-legged, that would be great. If for some reason cross-legged is hard for you, then get a book or a pillow to put under your butt so your hips are a little bit higher, and that will make things easier. All right. With hands on your knees here, just go ahead, sort of similar to the beginning. Lift your chest, arch your back, and then tuck your chin, round your back. Again, inhale, look up. And exhale, look down. And then bring yourself back to center and just give a little circle of your ribs. There you go, easy does it. Make sure your butt stays on the floor when you do this, it's just your ribs. And then the other way. And then just for a little spinal twist, you're going to take your right hand to your left knee. So opposite hand, opposite knee. The left hand behind you, sit up tall, and then turn to look over that left shoulder. I don't want to see you slumping. Stay tall, belly in, and even use your eyes to help deepen your twist. Back to center, and switch. Left hand on right knee, right hand behind you, sit up, 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 and gently twist. No need to crank on your back here. Think every inhale, grow tall. Every exhale, twist deeper. And then come on back to center. Good. One more little thing here. Have yourself lay all the way down on your back, please. When you lay down, be careful. You can use your hands behind your thighs. Roll down nice and slow is a good idea. And let's take a bridge pose. So stand your feet close to your tush. Feet should be hips width distance. If I reach down, I can almost touch my heels with my fingers. Arms long, palms down. Inhale, push through your feet. Lift those hips up nice and high. If it feels okay, interlace your fingers underneath your body and then push those hips up high. Once you're in the pose, keep looking down your center line. Don't turn your head from side to side. Think of squeezing your thighs towards each other. Don't let them fly to the sides of the room. Butt is squeezing. Chin is tucked. Booty is working. Big breath. Push up. And then slowly roll yourself down. Great work. Hug your knees into your chest nice and tight. And then rock and roll a couple times, side to side, back and forth maybe. A little massage for your spine. Feels good. Inhale, big inhale. And exhale, squeeze yourself tight. One more time, big inhale. And then as you exhale, let it go. Arms relax down, legs relax down. And here we are in Savasana. And if you can even just take 3 or 4 breaths here, letting your eyes be closed, letting your breath get slow, and feeling your body melt into the floor. Maybe one more time together. Let's take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Thank you so much for doing yoga with me today. I hope we get another chance to do it again soon. Take care of yourself, drink a lot of water, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye.